to call this meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. for Thursday, November 13th. And we anticipate that this will be a very short meeting. So I would like to call for an approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, and the agenda is approved. And that takes us to our consent calendar. These items provide the board with information considered to be more routine in nature. If the board deems an item to be necessary for additional discussion, a motion will be made to move the item to new business. I would look for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, and the consent calendar is approved. And that takes us to the purpose for tonight's meeting, which is a resolution canvassing returns of votes of school district general and special election. I would like to invite Natalia Pieschold and Andrew Whitworth to the table to present that to the board. Thank you for being here this evening and for all of your work in regards to the election. I believe that Dr. Mary Perry Reed would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Chair Andreessen. Well, on behalf of the school board, you see the certificates of recognition in front of you. We're very grateful for all of the efforts that you put forth during the entire election season to set up all of our polling places, and you attended hours and hours and hours of training, and you spent lots of time on the phone with Hennepin County. You moved voting equipment, ballot equipment. You did so much for our school district, and we're very grateful. Thank you very, very much for facilitating a successful election. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And are you going to share some comments about the process?
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to share a little bit about the canvassing and then a little bit about our experience as well.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with the canvassing results.
So after each election, a canvassing board, which is our school board for our school district, is going to convene to certify the results of the election.
So what is canvassing? So tonight we will present the abstract, the write-in tally forms, and the results tapes from each of our ballot counters at our 3 polling places. So then we'll discuss what was on the ballot. We had 3 open school board seats, 1 bond referendum question, and 1 capital projects levy question.
The 3 candidates who have been elected to fill our open school board seats are Rachel Hartland with 7,364 total votes, Johanna Hyman with 6,894 votes, and Sarah Wilhelm Garbers with 5,624 votes. The remaining 2 candidates received the following number of votes. Eric Mandel received 5,567 votes, and Tim Molepsky received 5,066 votes.
Question 1, referring to the bond referendum, passed with 10,225 yes votes and 3,792 votes for no. And then question 2, referring to the renewal of the capital projects levy, passed with 10,890 votes for yes and 3,095 votes for no.
All right, before we pivot to our next bit about our experience, does anyone have any questions about the abstract or the canvassing results?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So we'll just jump right into a little bit of an overview from this year. For our rental equipment, we rented all of our election equipment from the city of Eden Prairie. This included 5 DS200s, which are ballot counters, 5 express vote machines, which are accessible ballot marking devices, 22 voting booths, 9 poll pads, which is essentially our digital precinct finder, and then the 3 American flags for each of our polling places on Election Day.
For Election Day, we needed to staff our 3 polling places with election judges. We recruited from contacts we got from Eden Prairie and Edina, and we had 45 judges total. We needed to coordinate and create a schedule, taking into account each and every election judge's preferences and their training.
And we didn't work totally alone. We had a lot of help from some external personnel, primarily David Tieglin, the city clerk of Eden Prairie, was gracious enough to help us throughout this whole process, and the wonderful folks over at Hennepin County's election team. They led us through every step of this process, learning how to run the election, and answered so many questions along the way.
They answered all of our calls. They saw us calling and they were like, oh no, them again. All right. Moving on to our internal staff, which included people from buildings and grounds, the business office, and we also had to hire an additional election support during our direct balloting time. And then, of course, it included us.
Yeah.
So Andrew and I have worked over 300 hours for this election, and I think it's felt like more sometimes, but that was what we sort of tallied up in total.
Yeah, these hours have been both a combination of work, or of hours outside of work, or typical work hours, and unfortunately replacing some of our regular duties along the way too.
Which obviously, if you've reached out to me recently, school board members, you've seen I've not been responding as quickly as I normally do, or haven't gotten to things yet. And it's been a lot, especially coordinating with 45 different judges. I was their main contact, so reaching out to them was a lot of work and
Coordinating just
everything.
all the pieces, all the moving pieces throughout the process.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. I guess,
So we can jump to the next.
yeah, we can jump to the next piece. So if we decide to move to even year elections, one of the costs that we would obviously not incur anymore would be hiring election judges. The state, I believe, no, the city. The city would take over the costs. Is it the city?
Yep.
Yes. The city would take over the costs and the actual process of hiring election judges and booking polling places.
Yep, and they would be responsible for staffing for early voting, the postage, for notifying of a polling place change. They wouldn't need to lease equipment, as cities, for the most part, own the equipment. So that would take it off of the school needing to.
Yes. And also with the training, one of the things that we experienced with our election judges is we had to find pre-trained judges because during odd year times, the Hennepin County does not run election judge training. So you have to find people who are already trained. The training lasts
2 years.
2 years. But we couldn't find any new people, so we had to be very specific with the people that we hired. So, yeah.
If we were to move to even years, the current board members would see that their term would be extended by a year to align with the new election cycle, and school districts would still have the option of holding special elections at other times of the year, whether that's odd or even, as allowed by the Minnesota State Statute 205A.05. And that's the end.
That's the end. Anyone have any questions? Comments?
Sharon Dreesen.
Yes, Director Joan.
Hi. Well, I'd just like to say thank you so much for doing this. I know it's a little out of our, probably, most people's comfort zones, and I appreciate that you did that. And, you're doing democracy, so I appreciate that. And maybe you don't quite have the number yet, maybe you're still accounting, but I'd be curious, how much did we spend in total this cycle, right? And that includes your opportunity cost for, your 300 hours, maybe not the gray hairs it cost you, but, everything else. If you could give us an estimate or an exact number, that would be appreciated.
Yep, we're in the process. We still have, Skyward is still processing some of the reports right now because of the pay periods that we were part of. So we do have we are putting together numbers, and we will have that for you guys at a later date.
Thank you.
Chair Andreessen.
Yes.
So another consideration, when a future board takes up the discussion of perhaps moving to even year elections is the issue of early voting. So there were some city elections in the 7 cities that the district touches or comprises. This election cycle, and in other cities, there were not city elections. In fact, I live in the Edina part of the school district, and there were a lot of voters in my condo association who were not aware that an election was happening. And so the early voting location for Edina, Eden Prairie, and St. Louis Park, correct, was here?
Edina, Eden Prairie, and Plymouth.
And Plymouth, thank you. Oh, yes, obviously, okay. Was here at Eisenhower,
Yes.
and you had to staff that location as well.
Yes. Yep.
And get the machines here. I came to early vote, and at that point, I asked you about how many people had come by, and at that point, it was about 14. So I'm wondering what the final tally was of early voter, even just an estimate would be helpful.
During direct balloting period, we had 19 voters, and I believe during the absentee, we had 5,
I think it was 5. yeah.
3 or 5. And absentee voting is before the direct balloting period.
And that starts September 19th. So from September 19th through November 3rd, we had a total of
Less than 25 come to Eisenhower to early vote.
And the space has to be staffed 24, our hours, so 8 to 4 by 2 people. So there needs to be 2 people there at all times.
So that was an incredible amount of effort and staff time for a very low number of early voters. And there are multiple reasons for that, right? And one of the reasons being that some people who didn't have city elections and don't have kids in school and were kind of tuned out in terms of the school board elections just didn't know it was happening, much less that their early voting location was here. So I guess the point that I'm driving at is it's important to take into consideration all of these elements, and we want voters to be engaged in our school board elections. And there is data that shows when districts have changed to, in this case, even year elections, right? In other states, that there's increased voter turnout when the elections coincide, when school board elections and city elections and county elections coincide.
Yeah, we were looking into trying to find numbers from cities around us who have switched to even year, and we weren't able to find any, but we did find a few from other states. And the voter turnout just for municipal elections it goes up quite a bit once they move into the even year. And we even discussed it ourselves because I live in the Hopkins School District in Golden Valley, but Andrew lives in Golden Valley and was not part of the Hopkins School District. So we discussed, if these things were on a regular, or an even year election, we probably would have looked into this stuff on the ballot, and more people would be interested in finding out what was on the ballot to begin with if they're already voting for, a presidential election.
Thank you.
Chair Andreessen, can I ask a question?
Yes, Director Roper.
So thank you to for all of your work around the elections. I know that it was a lot of work, and especially just with our school boards. I do like what Director Westmoreland said, because I was looking for early voting, and I usually went to the place that I usually vote, and people, we were trying to figure out where the location was. And so I don't know if there's a lot of people who maybe wanted to early vote but just didn't know where those locations was. So if we can maybe do a I don't know, a social media campaign or something, or if we can get those locations plastered, I think that would increase the turnout. And then also too, so just for the current board members, so because it passed in Hopkins, does that mean that we're going to even year elections for Hopkins?
That's the city of Hopkins, and so that actually means that we, as a school district, now have to be in charge of another polling place. So if we had another election on an odd year, and Hopkins, the city of Hopkins, does not have an election, we would be in charge of another polling place. So that would be more that we would have to take care of.
So then are we looking to vote, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. So are we looking to vote again on going to even year elections for the school district?
So we've not voted on moving to even year yet for the school district. Just the city of Hopkins voted.
Okay.
So Director Roper, that's a discussion that the board has to have, and we started having it last year.
Yeah.
And we have not, as a board, voted. It hasn't even come to the board for a vote. It hasn't been put on the agenda. So that's a discussion that I see there's a lot of interest in continuing to have.
Yeah, we actually were saying that if you wanted to, we would be willing to come back and give another presentation with a little bit more in depth with numbers and
I think
information too.
people are
So-
interested in the data. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for this presentation. Do you have more?
No, we're all done.
That's it.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I like that. I feel that it's nice that we had the discussions beforehand so that you could be intentional as you were going through this process in gathering that data and feedback and how it went.
Yes.
And that it was new to you, too. So
Yes.
I think it all kind of came together well. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
And that takes us to the resolution.
I'm going to stay right here if that's okay, so I can write down.
Yes, I was going to see if you wanted to read it, or would you
Oh.
like me to read
Sure.
it?
I'd have to pull it up. 1 second. I can read it.
Because I'm fine either way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Do I need to read the beginning part, the pursuant do call? No. Okay.
No.
May I start?
Yes.
Okay. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 270, State of Minnesota, as follows. It is hereby found, determined, and declared that the general and special election of the voters of this school district held on November 4th, 2025, was in all respects duly and legally called and held. As specified in the attached abstract and return of votes cast, a total of, oh, my apologies, I don't have the number on this thing. Sorry.
It's okay.
So many different pieces of paper. A total number of, where's my total number? A total number of that doesn't sound. I think I'm a little confused as to where the total number is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough figure because it wants total number of voters. And that's challenging when you can
Yes.
vote for up to 3.
Yeah, because they were all combined.
Right.
With
But would it be in the abstract?
I'm looking at the abstract, but
You could count the referendum, the greater of the referendum numbers.
That's a good
There's fit-
Those 13,000 some?
okay. 14, hold on.
But I don't have access to the abstract, so I couldn't look at it.
Oh, it's in the canvassing results tab, in the consent, and then if you scroll down, there's the abstract.
Oh, votes cast.
The
Great.
votes counted. I thought I saw 11,000 something.
Oh, that is also blank.
Apologies, I should have pulled this up beforehand.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere where there's a total.
No, there's no total on the abstract either.
Here, let's try the Secretary of State.
Yeah, I bet it's on the Secretary of State website.
Okay.
I'm just seeing totals for each candidate. That
Yeah.
doesn't signify the total number of votes.
Just do the greater of the referendum goals, right? If everybody voted in the referendum.
Not
We
necessarily.
can't infer that?
No, because they may have voted for the referendum, but not candidates, and, or vice versa.
There is an email from one of our HEF union reps. She did some, Dee Den Hartog did some work. I forwarded it to you, Nick, Natalia, and Shannon, just so you could look at the numbers and help confirm if these are accurate. But she did some pulling together of numbers. And what she is sharing is that for question 1, there were a total number of 14,017 votes, and question 2, 13,985, but I don't see totals for the
Voters.
school board candidates.
So I would say, because this question is asking for total voters, that we go with the highest number.
Okay.
So I just added up from the Secretary of State, the highest number, which is the, I didn't get 14,000, I got 13,985 as the highest.
I think that was question 2. If you do
Yeah.
question 1 is 14,017.
14. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's what,
So
that's what
let's
she's
do
saying
that
as
one.
well.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fine with
Let's
doing
list
that.
that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
14,017.
Okay. Sorry, Director, or Clerk Thompson, I probably should have forwarded this to you.
Okay.
Now I need to
let's
find the tab again.
read
So we
that
just need
in.
one number then?
We need, I would, for this first one, but then it wants the rest of the numbers,
So-
correct? So we can just,
As specified in the attached abstract and return of votes cast, a total of 14,017 voters of the school district voted at said general election on the 3 school board members for 4-year term vacancies on the school board caused by expiration of the term on the first Monday in January next, following the general election as follows. Excuse me. And this is our numbers from our abstract.
So then it would be
Rachel Hartland, 7,364. Johanna Hyman, 6,894. Sarah Wilhelm Garbers, 5,624. Eric Mandel, 5,567. Tim Molepsky, 5,066.
And then there was a write-in. Do we want to include that?
So Rachel Hartland, Johanna Hyman, and Sarah Wilhelm Garbers, having received the highest number of votes, are elected to 4-year terms beginning on the first Monday in January 2026. As specified in the attached abstract and return votes cast at said election, a total of, so this is for question 1. Was it 13,000 something for question 1?
Question 1 was 14,000.
Okay, 14,017 voters of the school district voted on the question of authorizing the insurance of school building bonds for a school acquisition and betterment program, of which
10,225.
10,225 voted yes, and 3,792 voted in favor of, and then 3,792 voted against the same. Said proposition having not received the approval of at least a majority of such votes is hereby declared to have carried. Oh, having received the approval of at least a majority of such votes is hereby declared to have carried. As specified in the attached abstract and return of votes cast at said election, a total of 10,890.
It's
Oh, sorry, that was the 1,300,
Yeah,
right?
13,985.
13,985 voters of the school district voted on the question of renewing and capital project levy authorization for taxes payable in 2028 and thereafter, of which 10,890 voted in favor, 3,095 voted against the same. Said proposition having received the approval of at least a majority of such votes is hereby declared to have carried. The clerk is hereby directed to certify the results of the election to the county auditor of each county in which the school district is located in whole or in part, and to the Commissioner of Education. The motion for the, I think that's it. We're ready.
Yes. I would look for a motion for an adoption of the foregoing resolution. Does anyone want to move?
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Andreessen,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ross,
Aye.
Director Roper,
Aye.
Clerk Thompson, aye. Director Zhao,
Aye.
Director Westmoreland.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution has been accepted, and that concludes our business in canvassing the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalia.
So with that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The chair votes aye, and this meeting is adjourned at 6:29 PM. Thank you all. Appreciate it.